Welcome back to CougZone. I am Alfonso Valdivia.
And I'm Brooke Bovenkamp. This week we have a recap of the historic senior night the swim team had,
As well as a look into which linebacker made it to the Senior Bowl here on CougZone.
CougZone.
The WSU swim team honored their 4 seniors, Joel Springer, Michaela Curtin, Rebecca Oviedo Cardenas, and Michelle Van Ryen, on Friday when they swept the Idaho Vandals in the Battle of the Palouse. WSU had a historic night, setting 6 new pool records and taking first place in all 14 races. We now send it to Luke Westphal, who has more on the Cougs' dominant performance. Luke?
Thanks, Alfonso. The Cougs didn't just win first place in all 14 of the races. They swept the top 3 in every race except for 4 in which the Vandals took third place. This is the 26th win of all time for the Cougars against the Vandals. In the 6 pool records set, the first 2 were won by relay teams, the 200 medley and then the 400 freestyle. The next 4 were won individually by Angela DePaulo in the 100 freestyle, Anna Rockholtz in the 100 backstroke, and then 2 were won by freshman Emily Lundgren in the 100 and 200 yard breaststroke. Also, senior Jewel Springer won the 400-yard individual medley. It was a WSU top 10 time. She said she did not expect to swim as fast as she did and thought that her family being in the crowd on senior night would affect her, as she said she was bawling uncontrollably before her race. Other winners in this race were Dory Hathazi in 2 different events. Emily Lundgren won a 3rd event. Angela DePaulo won a 2nd event, as well as Kirsten DeGode and Kiana Swain. Head coach Matt Leach said that this was the best performance he has ever been a part of, and he said that the atmosphere in the building with the band and the drum line, along with his team's excellent performance, was the perfect way to send off his seniors on senior night. The team will now head to Federal Way to take on the Pac-12 championships on February 22nd. Now sending it back to Brooke at the desk.
Thanks, Luke. With the regular season concluded, the WSU swim team set its sights on the Pac-12 championship. They will battle against Arizona, Arizona State, Cal, Stanford, UCLA, USC, and Utah. WSU went 0-5 in conference this season as they do not have a dive team. WSU will be anticipating the success of individual swimmers and relay teams. One of the swimmers to keep an eye out for is Dory Hathazi. Our WSN reporter sat down with the young talent to see why she came to WSU.
Many Division I athletes hope to get off the bench during their first season. However, true freshman Dory Hathazi has already broken school records.
When I was a little kid, it was like a dream for me, like come to America, living here, studying here. So it's like it's really the dreams come true, kind of.
At her first home meet at WSU, Hathazi broke the Gibb pool record in the 200 fly and now holds the 5th fastest time in the country.
It's good. I think it's good, but I think I could be like, I could be in a better position. So we will see.
Hathazi was recruited from Nyíregyháza, Hungary by Kate Moore, the WSU assistant coach and recruiting coordinator, after a year of using Facebook Messenger and Zoom calls to help Hathazi connect with the school and her coaches.
With the international kids, you're always doing more Zoom calls or FaceTime type calls, so I think you get to know them pretty well. And with someone like Dory, who I think she really needed that comfort level before coming over here. So having that face-to-face with her over Zoom and then again in person was really important.
It's like I really think that Kate and Matt is a good coach. And also about the school, I really think that it's a good school. So I think it's a big opportunity.
Dory has sealed her name in the WSU history books and will have her name placed on the records board at Gibb Pool at the end of the year.
I mean, you can just tell by talking to her that she's very intense with swimming. She's a fierce competitor, and I mean, you just look at her walking around, she has kind of a swag about her, and you could just kind of even tell that from our conversations that she, had that that drive and wanting to be at the top.
I love racing, I love practicing, and I'm sure I will give my best in every race.
WSU opening day is 9 days away. Here are some players to watch out for. Shane Spencer is a new name. He's a junior from Central Arizona and was ranked number 16 in transfers coming out of JUCO schools. This right-handed pitcher went 14-1 with 126 strikeouts last season. Bryce Matthews is an outfielder, and during the 2022 season, he had a .305 batting average. He led the team with 36 runs scored as a sophomore. Kyle Russell, middle infielder, hit .264 as a sophomore and tied for the team lead in triples. In baseball news, a former Coug has turned some heads recently in the minor leagues. Let's send it down to Evan at Bailey Braden Field with the coverage.
Thanks, Pancho. Former Cougar baseball first baseman Kyle Manzardo has been ranked one of Major League Baseball's top 100 prospects. He currently sits ranked 73rd overall, as well as the third best first baseman prospect. Manzardo plays in the Tampa Bay Rays organization for their AA team in the Montgomery Biscuits. Additionally, Manzardo was recently named the Rays Minor League Baseball Player of the Year, accompanied by an invitation to spring training this year with a shot at the big leagues. The 22-year-old is projected to make his Major League debut sometime in 2023. Manzardo started the 2022 season with the Rays High A team, but was promoted to AA after showing great promise. Manzardo led all Rays in batting average, on-base percentage, and slugging during the 2022 season. Thanks. Back to you guys at the desk.
WSU women's basketball capped off a doubleheader this past weekend at Beasley Coliseum, playing in Stanford last Friday and Collins Sunday. The Cougs' first game was a rough loss versus the number 2 Cardinal, 71-38. After playing a very defensive first 2 minutes, things started to crumble on the court for WSU, scoring only 3 points in the first quarter. Things continued south for the team as they went 25% from the field and 15% from 3 for the entire game. This nice 3-point shot by Charlie Slayer-Walker would be the only bucket the Cougars would make in the first quarter, and one of 3 shots Slayer-Walker would knock down for this game. To begin the second quarter, Tara Wallach set up Zula Motuga with a back-down bucket after a nice pass. And later on, in the second, freshman Astera Tuhina finds Tara Wallach for an open jumper. By halftime, the Cougars were down 18 points and looking to continue to fight after this tightly contested shot by Bella Murekatete. However, their efforts were not enough against a very sound Stanford team.
Looking for a bounce-back win after their devastating loss to Stanford, the WSU women came out strong and played a very physical game against Cal, winning 70-60. The Cougars were led by Charlize Ledger-Walker's 25 points, wheeling her way to the basket and going 44% from three-point range, while also racking up 5 assists and 3 rebounds. The Ledger-Walker show started off in the first quarter with this sweet setup by Motuga, finding Ledger-Walker for an open 3. Then Ledger-Walker serves a dime herself, finding Murekatete for an easy under-the-basket shot. After another Ledger-Walker 3-point shot to start the second quarter, Tuhina gets in on the action with this impressive behind-the-back crossover to freeze her defender and knock down the open jumper. The Cougs would be down 28-26 at the half, but turned up the heat on Cal to start the third quarter after another Ledger-Walker 3 set up again by Motuga. And then again with this dime of a pass from Tuhina to Ledger-Walker. The fourth quarter was highlighted by this beautiful half-court transition pass from Tuhina to Wallach as the Cougars hold on for the win behind their intense and focused play.
The WSU ladies will hit the road this weekend to face Colorado on Friday at 6 p.m. and number 7 Utah on Sunday at 11 a.m. The game versus Utah provides another opportunity for WSU to show that they can be competitive in the Pac-12 and in the NCAA tournament coming up next month. The Coug women will then return to the Palouse the following weekend to take on the Oregon schools.
WSU men's basketball went down to the City of Angels to face USC and UCLA. The Cougs faced Trojans on Thursday but fell short from the win, with USC winning 80-70. However, it was a big night for forward Muhammad Gay. Gay finished the night with a career high of 31 points. He made 14 of 21 shots with a three-pointer and grabbed 12 rebounds for his 10th double-double of the season.
On Saturday, the Cougs faced the number 9 ranked UCLA in hopes of ending the trip with a win, but the Bruins defeated the Cougs 76-52. WSU kept it close early in the first half, but UCLA was able to get the lead. TJ Bamba and Justin Powell led the team in scoring. Bamba finished the night with 19 points, while Powell ended the night with 17 points, hitting 5 3-pointers.
Coming up, it's Apple Cup Series. The men's basketball team return home to Beasley Coliseum to face off rival UW and look for a win. The Cougs are set to face the Huskies on Saturday, February 11th at 7:30 p.m.
WSU football was fortunate enough to have linebacker Dan Henley represent his Cougs at this year's Senior Bowl. This annual contest serves as a great opportunity for senior players to boost their NFL draft stock before the draft combine, and that's exactly what Henley did this past weekend. Along with impressing NFL recruiters during drills the previous day, Henley stacked an impressive performance during the game that included a fumble recovery. NFL.com named Henley as one of their 10 winners from the Senior Bowl weekend, stating that the big test for Henley was how he would hold up in coverage against all-star competition. Well, he passed that test with flying colors. He's instinctive and he can run. Henley's Senior Bowl worthy season included 106 total tackles, 4 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and an interception. He currently holds a draft stock that sits about the second to third round and is trading up. Henley hopes to continue to turn heads ahead of NFL draft and combine to join older fellow Cougs in the NFL.
What's up, Cougs? I'm Olivia Mayo here with your Cougar Outlook. We have a busy week of sports ahead of us. First this week is track and field. They will be at the University of Washington, the University of New Mexico, and Whitworth on Friday and Saturday. Next is tennis, having 2 away games this week. Friday they will be down at Fresno State, then they will head to Cal Poly. Following that, the women's basketball team heads on the road for 2 away games this week. Friday they take on Colorado at 6 p.m., then Sunday at 11 a.m. they will take on the Utah Utes. We have the Apple Cup for men's basketball Saturday at 7:30. Better see you all there. Finally, women's golf will be in San Diego for the Lambkin Invitational Monday and Tuesday. That's all from our Cougar Outlook. Back to the desk with Brooke.
Thanks, Olivia. The track and field program will compete in the Don Kirby Elite in Albuquerque, New Mexico from Friday to Saturday. Last week, they hosted the WSU Open and multi-held in Spokane. The Cougars saw 10 top 10 finishes, most of which by the spikes of Lee Walburn, the junior from Whitefish, Montana. The team will return to the Pacific Northwest for another Apple Cup matchup in the Husky Classic from February 10th through 11th.
With the colder months coming to a close, the Cougar 2023 golf seasons will resume play for both the men's and women's teams. The women will play first as they head down to sunny San Diego to play in the Lambkin Invitational from February 13 to the 14th. The women have certainly had a respectable first season under new head coach Sophie Agard and lead players Darcy Hapwood and Madeline Gamble. The men's team will compete in Hawaii from February 16 to the 18th. At the John Burns Intercollegiate, the men's team are still figuring out where they fit with the rest of the Pac-12, as some tournaments end in a top 2 finish and others in a 12th place showing.
In the Battle of the Cougars of WSU could not compete with the Cougars of BYU as WSU lost 5-2 in Provo, Utah. Freshman Eva Alvarez-Sandi and junior FIFA Kumhom were the lone Wazoo winners. Alvarez-Sandi came from behind in her first 2 sets to get the win. Kumhom won in just 3 sets. Maxine Murphy lost in a sweep to BYU's Bobo Huang in a close first set and a blowout second set. The Cougars turned their attention to a Friday match with Fresno State.
So we have a lot of sports coming up this week, but I'm mostly excited about the Apple Cup for the men's basketball. Should be a pretty good game with, UW being 13 and 12 and us being 10 and 15. I think,
it's gonna be a hell of a game. I mean, last game we didn't do well enough, but I think they will do well this coming game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so
I think it's
what do
gonna
you
be
think
close. I'm just wondering, do we have all of our players back, or do we still have anybody out?
I think this last week we had a few people out, so we're going to see if we can get everyone healthy, and then I think that'll make it a better game.
I think if we've got all our players.
And again, just being able to hold up with top teams, ranked teams this year has been, puts us a little bit above them, and I think overall it'll be a good game.
How about the player? We have one specific player we want to
talk
about.
Noah Williams, a transfer from WSU to UW. I am in hopes to see him play quite a bit, Hopefully we can beat
He did a pretty good job when he was here at WSU. I mean, I really miss him. How is he doing in UW? I haven't seen him lately.
I haven't seen much.
I don't
but-
know how much of a role player, or he's more of a role player there than he was here. You know, he's not a starter over there, but yeah,
Well,
I think
it's gonna be an exciting
yeah,
game.
it will be.
For sure.
Well, that's it for this week. Follow us WSU Sports Network on Instagram and WSU Sportsnet on Twitter.
For more Cable 8 content, follow us on YouTube. I'm Brooke Bovenkamp.
I'm Olivia Mayo.
And I am Alfonso Valdivia. See you next week on
CougZone.
Come.